Sup, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and about 2 weeks ago, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know by now, Blizzard shut down the very popular and very successful Vanilla WoW private server Nostalrius. Now, in shutting that server down, it created a huge outcry from the community, and it got a lot of people talking about the possibility of Blizzard creating their own legacy servers. Now, I guess I will kind of explain what legacy servers are before we go into what this video is going to be about. Now, legacy servers are basically, you guys know that World of Warcraft came out in 2004, and so a legacy server would be hypothetically them taking a distilled version of the game from, let's say, 2005 and making a server to where you can play the game in that original state from its 2005, all the same mechanics, all the same changes, not, like just vanilla WoW, no Burning Crusade, no Wrath of the Lich King, of course, and none of the other expansions, just vanilla WoW from that exact time period. Now, a lot of people have really, really wanted to see this since, probably since Burning Crusade, really. And, whenever there's a really big content drought like we have right now in Warlords of Draenor, private servers become comparatively more appealing. Now, whenever this happened, it didn't just catch the attention of people like me who just make videos about WoW mostly, and other people in like the Warcraft community, but it also attracted the attention of larger people on YouTube, on Twitch, and even had people in Forbes writing articles about this and in BBC. And so this is a very, very big and very, very broad issue that has attracted a lot of people. So whenever this happened, I never really expected Blizzard to give a response, but they did. And so what I want to go through with you guys is what Blizzard said in their response and kind of my response to their response. Just give me 1 second and I'll pull it up and we'll go through it. Now this is posted by Nostalrius. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it's the candle one, and it says to the WoW community, and it's a general post. I think this is on the EU forums, but I'm sure there's probably one on WoW as well. We wanted to let you know that we've been closely following the Nostalrius discussion, and we appreciate your constructive thoughts and suggestions. Our silence on this subject, and by the way, I want to say something right now, is that this was not written by Nostalrius. It was written by J. Allen Brack, who's one of the lead game designers in World of Warcraft, and is actually the person who used the phrase, "You think you do, but you don't." And so it came as a surprise to me that he was the one that was going to deliver this message. But either way, I don't really think that's a little bit too political for me to get into, and I think that it's reading too much into it. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish off what was said. Our silence on this subject definitely doesn't reflect our level of engagement and passion around this topic. We hear you. Many of us across Blizzard and the WoW dev team have been passionate players ever since Classic WoW. In fact, I personally, and that's again J. Allen Brack, work at Blizzard because of my love for Classic WoW. And he actually started, I think, in 2006 and made a lot of changes in Burning Crusade, and I think that does kind of like just some people might think that he's like, oh, a new guy and he doesn't want to think about the old stuff because it would make him look bad. That's not what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up. Now, we've been discussing classic servers for years. It's a topic every BlizzCon, and especially over the past few weeks. From active internal team discussions to after our meetings with leadership, this subject has been highly debated. Some of our current thoughts, and so this is pretty much where the issue stands right now. Why not just let Nostalrius continue the way it was? The honest answer is failure to protect against intellectual property infringement would damage Blizzard's rights. This applies to anything that uses WoW's IP, which is intellectual property, including unofficial servers. And while we've looked into the possibility, there is not a clear legal path to protect Blizzard's IP and grant an operating license to a private server. Now, I don't really know why that is. Is that because it's not just Blizzard, it's Blizzard Activision? Is that because the Nostalrius team is located in France? I can't necessarily answer that, but I can see that it could potentially be complex. But I know that other companies, they grant operating licenses to, pretty much I guess it's not right. It's like more merchandising licenses. I don't really know. To be honest, I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand this stuff very well. So I'm not really going to get into, is this possible or not? Because as I said before, I don't know. Next thing, we explored options for developing classic servers, and none could be executed without great difficulty. If we could push a button and all of this would be created, we would. Now, I think that is kind of a you think you do but you don't kind of means to me that even if we could do it, we wouldn't want to do it for you guys because people wouldn't want this. And so I think that if we could push a button and all of this would be created, we would, implies that there's been a paradigm shift. I don't really know entirely what this necessarily means, but I do think that it's them saying that you don't want private servers anymore because it's what they used to say, and now they're not saying that. Is that just because they're trying to be more political to not upset people anymore, or what? I don't really know, but it is worth noting. But again, I don't really want to get too like reading too in between the lines here because. Again, like you don't know how long it took this guy to type it up. He could have just typed it up on like I don't know, like his iPhone the day before and just gone to work and put it up there. I don't really know, but I think that because this has been such a big issue, I think that this is probably a more carefully constructed response. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up. However, there are some tremendous operational challenges to integrating classic servers, not to mention the ongoing support of multiple live versions for every aspect of WoW. So what can we do to capture the nostalgia of WoW of when WoW first launched? Over the years, we've talked about a pristine realm. In essence, that would turn off all leveling acceleration, including character transfers, heirloom gear, character boosts, recruit a friend bonuses, WoW token, and access to cross-realm zones, as well as group finder. We aren't sure whether this version of a clean slate is something that would appeal to the community, and it's still an open topic of discussion, and that's what we're going to be talking about in just a minute here. One other note, we've recently been in contact with some of the folks who operated Nostalrius. They obviously care deeply about the game, and we look forward to more conversations with them in the coming weeks. What does that mean? No one knows. Let's not waste our time speculating. You, the Blizzard community, are the most dedicated, passionate players out there. We thank you for your constructive thoughts and suggestions. We are listening, J. Allen Brack. And so that's what they said. That was the response that was posted up. I was very, very odd because this was 5 hours ago, and it's 7:30 in the morning, by the way. I have not gone to bed. So that was posted in 2:30 in the morning. I think I posted a little bit before that. On US servers, but it was still like in the AM, and so that was very weird. I don't know if they're. It seems like something that they're not really trying to get under the radar. But again, I don't really want to read too much into this. So the pristine server idea, I think it's a horrible idea, and I think that it's kind of evidence that they're not necessarily listening to what players want. Making things slower is not going to make them more fun. Getting rid of heirloom gear and character boosts and everything like that is not going to just solve all of the problems. Now, I think that heirloom gear, character boosts, WoW tokens, I don't really think are a big deal, but I can see why people do think that. Cross-realm zones, I don't really think are a big deal, or I do think are a big deal. And of course, Group Finder, I've been very outspoken with the way I feel about that. I don't think it has any place in the game, except for maybe in low-level dungeons. So I think that this pristine realm idea it's taking all of the again, I don't really want to get into this too much because I don't really know a lot about it, but just looking at what it is right now, it seems to be that they don't really see what people want, right? Nobody wants a pristine realm of Warlords of Draenor. What people want is they want a vanilla server. That's that they wanted a pristine realm of Words of Draenor. All of these things are basically, they don't really affect other players. Really, like, if somebody's able to transfer characters or somebody else has heirloom gear, that doesn't really affect them. And so what you're really asking for here is for people to willingly handicap themselves. And I think that really, whenever you ask for people to do that, you're always going to, it's never going to work out. People are not going to willingly handicap themselves in order to have what could be potentially a more full experience of World of Warcraft or anything like that. Usually, they have to come as kind of, there either have to be a lot of rewards for this. So like if you get like Pristine Realm, maybe you'd have like a permanent elite portrait around like your character or something like that, level 100 in the Pristine Realm. I don't really know. That's just something I literally just thought of. So the point that I'm trying to make is that unless there are a lot of rewards for this, people are not going to go out of their way to have to go out of their way on this server, which is obviously what it's going to come down to because things will take longer. So with more effort, there needs to be more reward. And so if the Pristine Realm has a bunch of different like crazy new achievements and stuff like that, maybe this could work out. But it just seems to me like this whole Pristine Realm thing is evidence that they're not really listening to what people want because nobody's asking for a Pristine Realm. Now, some of these things are things that people don't want in the game, but ultimately people don't really want a Pristine Warlords of Draenor. They want a pristine vanilla WoW. Now, also on top of that, I also want to say that it's very kind of odd, and I had a big discussion about this with Alex Sensual. He's a very big proponent and a very big supporter of private servers, and he's on YouTube. You guys can check him out, and also McConnell and Nasty Nelbur tonight on my stream, usual suspects, and we talked about this a lot. And Alex brought up a really, really good point, which was why are they calling this a pristine realm? Like, and I think that this is again maybe reading a little bit too into it, but maybe it's not. Um, if these things are called pristine, like what's really the opposite? What's really the like what's the opposite of pristine? And that would be kind of like dirty or maybe toxic. I don't know, toxic and pristine or almost. But the opposite of pristine is not a positive thing, and pristine is considered a positive thing. So why is it that heirloom gear, character boosts, group finder are considered pristine, right? And I think that that might I guess like it gives me a little bit of hope that they might consider reevaluating those decisions and how those systems work in the game right now if they were to put those on a pristine realm. Now, again, I just don't really think that this is what a lot of people wanted to hear, to be completely honest. And I think that a lot of people are. This is basically this is kind of like what I get out of this is that we hear what you're saying and we understand that there's a lot of people who care about this, but ultimately it's not really going to happen. And there are a lot of people who, I think that like I'm not just like trying to read like kind of like all of the Reddit comments and everything on this. And personally, like on my stream today, we had a really really big talk about this. I just don't really think that the pristine realms are the way to go unless they're from a previous expansion. I just don't really think it's a very good idea. And on top of that, another thing that I did kind of want to talk about just a little bit is I'm trying to remember like even what that was because I was just reading that. Just a second. Curiosity about the game. Is it Blizzard? I don't know how much money they're really going to be able to make with this. And I think that that's something that they're looking at. Is it how much money are they really going to be able to make doing these private servers? And let me go ahead and see how long I really want to talk about this. So, in any sort of a business, whenever you're deciding whether you want to create a product or support a product, you have to look at a number of different things, and a couple of them are fixed costs and variable costs. Fixed costs in this circumstance would be the amount of money that even if you want to have one person play on this private server, that you have to put that money up. And so that means developing the server, writing the code, and pretty much those are the two main things. And of course, like paying for the electricity in the room and everything like that, and buying the server and all that, and paying for bandwidth and all that. So that's what you have to pay no matter what. And then you also have variable costs, which would be something like the customer service representatives for said server. They would need to be trained and have to deal with, and I'm using in this example a vanilla WoW server. So hypothetically, if you were to do that, what they would have to see is there's obviously a break-even point where the amount of money that you make, you have to have enough people spread out across, the customer base in order to spread that fixed cost out across that many people in order for something to basically, for you to break even. And then of course above that you will make profit. And the idea is that the variable cost will increase the more people that you get, but it will increase at a slower rate than the amount of money that you would get from those people, which is where you get the amortization of the fixed costs. So it's pretty basic. And so what I'm really trying to get at here is that they could have basically said that the private servers, we're not really going to be able to make enough money with these private servers, and so there's no reason for them to make them. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you guys the real truth. I'm going to tell you guys how I really feel about the whole private server thing right now before we end the video. I want there to be vanilla WoW servers. I don't really care about pristine servers. I don't really think that's what anybody really wants. And I think that trying to achieve a gray area like this is just going to disappoint people. Also, if they do make a vanilla WoW server, I will play that vanilla WoW server all the time, and I will get up to level 60 or 70 or whatever it is, and I will be making videos for you guys, and I will enjoy every fucking second of it, except for maybe not doing Wrathy Highlands because there's like 11 quests in that entire zone. But the point that I'm trying to make, of course, is that I really want there to be a vanilla WoW server. I think it will be very fun to play, and I have kind of changed my mind in a way because of that. But of course, you guys won't see any videos about that until they actually make one themselves, because I can't post that or they'll DMCA my content. And so I can't just make videos for a private server. I can't do that. All of my videos taken down. So anyway, guys, I did want to kind of have a little bit of a discussion about this and just kind of go over it with you guys. Now, I don't really think that this answers it. It to me, it didn't necessarily. It's not what I was hoping to hear, but it is kind of what I was expecting to hear. And again, like just to wrap up, the Pristine Realms, it just seems like there's a disconnect between what Blizzard thinks that we want, us players, people who want like the authentic vanilla experience, and what players do want. That Pristine Realms is not it. I don't think it is. It's a really good first step. It's a good place to start the discussion. It's a good place to start the discussion, but it's definitely not where I'd want to finish at. So anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. As I said, I had a really long discussion about this. I streamed for 7 hours. That's probably why I'm a little bit crazy right now. But anyway, I'm gonna go home, or not go home, go downstairs, and make myself a pizza, and I'm gonna have a good 8 a.m. midnight snack. So anyway, guys, so you can check that out if you want. There's a lot of like kind of shit talking and bullshit, so it's probably not like one of my most proud streams, to be honest. But you can check it out at twitch.tv/Asmongold, and of course follow, because I am trying to stream a little bit more. So anyway, if you guys want to continue the discussion, if I'm on there and you want to ask me a question about it, I'll be glad to answer what you have to say. But anyway, until then, I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about these Pristine Realms and just kind of this whole response and everything in general. So that's pretty much all I've got. Thank you very much for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe.